Hello and welcome back to Easy English Fluency. This is Advanced Level Episode 1, and I'm William, your guide on this exciting adventure into mastering English. Get ready for some fun, engaging, and practical lessons to take your language skills to the next level.
And I'm Lisa. We're so glad you're here because today's episode is all about mastering storytelling and boosting your vocabulary with powerful words and phrases.
That's right, Lisa. Have you ever felt like your stories or conversations lack a bit of spark?
William, I know exactly how that feels. It's like having a masterpiece in your mind but no brush to paint it with.
Oh, absolutely, Lisa. But today, we're giving you the tools to turn those ideas into art. We'll guide you through a quick word review to expand your vocabulary, a gripping story packed with advanced expressions.
Also, we will cover post-story insights to deepen your understanding, a section on collocations to help you use words effectively, grammar tips to refine your sentence structure. We'll go over these words quickly before the main conversation, and you won't worry if they seem complex now. By the end of the podcast, we'll give you detailed explanations with different examples.
Let's get the first phrasal verb is that, hit the road, meaning to start a journey or trip.
Number 2, off the beaten path, meaning a place not visited by many people.
The next one is travel on a shoestring, meaning traveling with a very small budget. Number 4, catch some rays is meaning that to relax in the sun.
Number 5, language barrier, meaning difficulty communicating because of different languages. Number 6, culture shock, meaning feeling surprised by a culture different from your own.
Number 7, keep an open mind, meaning stay flexible and ready for new experiences.
The next one is jet lag, meaning feeling tired after a long flight across time zones.
Speaking of packing light, remember that trip I took where I forgot half my essentials? Talk about learning to keep an open mind and go with the flow.
Oh, I remember you telling me that. You said living out of a suitcase became your specialty by the end of the trip.
Exactly. And the jet lag was no joke either. I think I drank my weight in coffee to keep up with the culture shock.
Number 9, pack light, meaning to bring only a few items when traveling.
Number 10, live out of a suitcase, meaning to travel around frequently, not unpacking fully.
Okay, remember, every step you take toward learning a new language is a step closer to expanding your world. Keep going, and you will see progress every day. Let us listen to the conversation.
Hey, Grace. Ready to hit the road this summer? I've been thinking we could travel on a shoestring to keep costs down.
Absolutely. I love saving money while exploring. Where should we go? Something off the beaten path, I hope.
I was thinking of visiting a small town by the coast. We can catch some rays on the beach and then explore the local markets.
That sounds perfect. We should also keep an open mind. Maybe we'll discover hidden spots or unique local foods.
Nah, definitely. I've been reading about culture shock, especially in smaller towns. So let's make sure we soak up the culture respectfully.
Good idea. Let's pack light too. I hate carrying heavy luggage, especially if we end up moving around a lot.
Same here. I'd rather live out of a suitcase than drag a big case around. Plus, if we change plans, we can just go with the flow.
Exactly. Oh, and about jet lag, let's book flights with enough time to rest. I don't want to waste days feeling exhausted.
Great point. And if we face a language barrier, we can always use translation apps or gestures.
Sounds like a plan. Let's finalize our itinerary and get ready for an adventure.
Awesome. I'll check flight prices later today and we can pick the best dates.
Perfect. In the meantime, I'll look for good accommodation deals so we can stay within our budget.
Great idea. Let's meet tomorrow to go over everything and finalize the details.
Sounds good. I'm really excited to explore this new place.
Me too. Once we settle on the dates and hotel, we'll be all set.
Exactly. Thanks, Luke. Talk to you tomorrow.
Sure thing. Take care, Grace.
Wow, Lisa, they're planning a fun trip with lots of flexible plans.
Yes, they use terms like hit the road, off the beaten path, and pack light, perfect for travel.
So, Lisa, what's the main challenge they discussed?
They talked about saving money, dealing with local cultures, and making sure they stay open to new experiences.
Exactly. It's all about keeping an open mind and going with the flow.
Right, and being ready to handle jet lag, language barriers, and unexpected adventures.
Perfect. Now, let's dive deeper into these travel phrases with some examples.
Yes, by the end, you'll be ready to use them on your next trip. The first one is that hat the road, meaning to start a journey or trip. Example, we'll hit the road early tomorrow to avoid traffic.
Off the beaten path, meaning a place that's not commonly visited by tourists. Example, I prefer going off the beaten path to find local gems.
Travel on a shoestring, meaning traveling with a very tight budget. Example, they decided to travel on a shoestring, staying in hostels and eating street food.
Catch some rays, meaning to relax in the sun. Example, we headed to the beach to catch some rays after lunch.
Language barrier, meaning difficulty talking to people who speak a different language. Example, we faced a language barrier in Japan, but we used gestures to communicate.
Culture shock, meaning feeling confused by a culture different from your own. Example, she experienced culture shock when she moved abroad for college.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground so far with these phrasal verbs, but don't worry, we're almost there. Think of this as the halfway point on a road trip, just enough time to stretch your legs and grab a snack.
Exactly. So take a deep breath, maybe grab a coffee, and let's dive back in. By the end of this, you'll be cruising through these phrasal verbs and collocations like a pro.
Let's dive into the additional examples. Keep an open mind, meaning stay flexible and open to new ideas or experiences. Example, it's important to keep an open mind when trying new foods.
Soak up the culture, meaning to fully enjoy and learn about local traditions and ways of life. Example, we spend time with local families to soak up the culture.
Jet lag, meaning exhaustion or sleep problems caused by traveling across time zones. Example, I had terrible jet lag after flying from New York to Tokyo.
Pack light, meaning to bring only essential items when traveling. Example, since we'll move around a lot, it's best to pack light.
Live out of a suitcase, meaning traveling around frequently without fully unpacking. Example, during our backpacking trip, we lived out of a suitcase for 3 weeks.
Go with the flow, meaning to be flexible and adapt to changes easily. Example, I didn't plan every detail, I just wanted to go with the flow. Now let's look at some helpful travel collocations.
Yes, these will make you sound more natural on your travels.
First collocation is plan a trip, meaning we need to plan a trip to the mountains next month.
Number 2, make a reservation, meaning I'll make a reservation at that quaint hotel by the lake. The next one, book a flight. Let's book a flight before prices go up. Number 4, take a tour. We decided to take a tour. That was fantastic. Now that we've learned these collocations, let's check out some more examples to see how they can be used in different situations.
Exactly. But before you move on, I just have to say, if we're going to talk about tours, I'm not ready to give up my dream of a tour through the pyramids. Who's with me?
Aha, I'm in. And we're planning to go to the castle too.
All right, let's move on to the additional examples section and dive deeper into practical ways to use these expressions.
Off the beaten path. You'll find the most authentic food in the most authentic restaurants. You'll find the most authentic food off the beaten path. Travel on a shoestring. Many college students choose to travel on a shoestring so they can visit more places. Catch some rays after a long winter. I can't wait to catch some rays at the beach. Culture shock. Visiting a new country can cause culture shock if you're not prepared.
Keep an open mind. When you move abroad, it helps to keep an open mind about local customs.
Soak up the culture, huh? We visited local museums to really soak up the culture. Pack light. If you pack light, you can move around more easily.
Live out of a suitcase. During my gap year, I lived out of a suitcase the entire time.
Go with the flow, huh? We had no strict plan for our road trip and just went with the flow. Huh? Before we end today's episode, not the season though, here's a question. Where would you love to travel next? Share it with us in the comments.
Yes, please tell us your dream destination and try using these travel phrases in your response.
And here's your challenge. Can you create a short sentence using 3 of the travel phrases we discussed today? We'd love to see your creativity in the comments. Let us delve into story 1 for better understanding and retention. Laura wanted to travel on a shoestring, so she picked a hostel off the beaten path. She packed light, hoping to go with the flow and find hidden beaches.
Sounds like the perfect adventure, right? But things took an unexpected turn when she got to the hostel. There was a mix-up with the reservation, and she ended up having to stay with a group of backpackers she didn't know. But instead of stressing, she made the most of it.
That's the spirit. And while it wasn't exactly what she had planned, she ended up meeting some amazing people and discovered a secret cove that wasn't on any tourist maps. Let's listen to the second story. When Dylan arrived in Tokyo, he felt immediate culture shock. But he decided to keep an open mind, use some local phrases, and really soak up the culture.
Yes, that was correct. I think that's so important. I've heard that Tokyo can be quite overwhelming at first with all the neon signs and the fast-paced lifestyle.
Exactly. And also, Tokyo's food scene is something else. I bet Dylan was excited to try sushi or ramen from the local shops, not just the ones for tourists.
Oh, definitely. But what really surprised him was how polite and helpful the locals were, even when he didn't speak perfect Japanese. It made him feel more at home.
That's such an interesting experience. Now, let's move on to our next story. Mark and Julie decided to hit the road across Europe. They faced a language barrier in some countries, but they planned short stays to catch some rays on sunny coasts. Mark and Julie decided to hit the road across Europe. They faced a language barrier in some countries, but they planned short stays to catch some rays on sunny coasts. How do you learn best? Reading guidebooks, watching travel vlogs, or practicing with locals?
Lisa, I think. Everyone's different. Let us know your favorite way to prepare for a trip.
Your challenge today? Write a few sentences describing your dream vacation using at least 3 travel phrases.
We're excited to read about your imaginary journeys in the comments.
I remember my first big trip abroad. I was overwhelmed by the language barrier at first, but once I kept an open mind, everything felt easier.
Me too. My best experiences came when I went off the beaten path. It's amazing what you find when you explore. Thank you for sticking with us through another season of Easy English Fluency Channel. We hope you found our episodes fun and helpful. Please do not forget to subscribe us.
Yes! If you enjoyed our travel tips and language lessons, please share them with friends.
Your support is what keeps us going. We love building this community with all of you.
We'll be back next season with more exciting lessons, so stay tuned. Until then, keep exploring and learning.
Goodbye for now, everyone.
Bye. Safe travels and happy studying, and do not forget, subscribe us.